Hey guys, so today I want to talk about, are you fulfilling your destiny? We all have a purpose and a destiny in our lives. And so, hold on, let me turn down my computer because I don't want to have a bunch of noise here. Okay, so we all have a destiny, and it could be, no matter what it is that you believe is your higher power, we all have a purpose in life. And the question is, what are you doing to fulfill your destiny? And so, I was listening to a sermon this weekend, and this has nothing to do with just religion, because you can believe whatever it is. It's basically a moral of the story, which I want to share with you. And so I was listening to this guy, and he was talking about how when he was young, his grandfather was the minister of a Pentecostal church, and his father was the worship leader, and then he was part of the choir, and they would portray every Sunday how their lives, and they would preach. But then he knew the second that he got home, life would change, and his father would be a complete drunk, and it was the worship leader that was a complete drunk. And so he didn't know how each night would end up. He didn't know whether or not he'd wind up in the hospital that night, if he was going to wind up with a broken rib or a broken arm. And his father always told him, he says, you're going to be nothing. You're going to wind up in prison. You're going to be nothing your entire life. And so as time went on, his father kept doing that. And it can become like a self-fulfilling prophecy when somebody actually tells you that over and over and over again. So as he got older, what did he do? He found himself exactly where his father said he was going to be, winding up on the wrong path, winding up in trouble. He was winding up in bars, drunk. But the funny thing was, he was winding up in bars, not talking about to the girls, trying to get them, wherever, what you want to do in a bar, but he was talking about his beliefs, and he didn't really want to, but that's what he was doing. And so something was calling him for something greater, and he didn't know what it was. So finally one day it just hit him, and he went into his friend who was in a band, and he said, hey, you don't go to a church, don't you? And the guy's like, yeah. So he's like, can you tell me where it's at? I want to go. So he went. And what happened is that he's sitting there, and the guy that's preaching goes and calls on him and tells him, hey, come up here, and he didn't have a choice to come up there or not. There was like two big bouncers. They think that these worship people come up and grab him and take him up to the stage, and the guy's like asking him, do you give your life and all this stuff. And he just didn't know what to say. He said he honestly was looking for a way to kick the guy in the balls and run out the door. And so at that moment, something in his life changed. And so he decided to devote his time to serving at a church. And he ended up being a cleaner of the church. And one day, and then he moved up to, I think it was another type of leader. And then one day he had one of the senior guys come up behind him, and he had this long ponytail, and he called himself a redneck. So he was totally like, had pierced ears and all this stuff. So the guy grabs him from behind in the ponytail, and he grabs it, and he yanks his head back, and he goes, hey, are you gonna be a turkey, or do you want to soar with the eagles? And so when he said that, he really didn't understand what that meant. But what that meant was, if you want to be a turkey, you're going to walk around gobble gobble. And basically, you're going to be turkey dinner, right? But the reason that the eagle never gets eaten is because when the eagle gets attacked, he continues to soar higher and higher, so no one can ever reach him. And so he thought about this and said, wow, this is my problem here, is I'm walking around with a bunch of turkeys, and I'm not being an eagle. So how am I fulfilling my destiny if I'm being a turkey? So he took a different standpoint at that moment. And then as time went on, he went to develop his own church and do great things. And then something happened in his life. His wife had a baby, and beautiful baby girl, and everything was all dandy. Then about a year later, she got pregnant again. And what happened is that it was on a flight, and he gets a text stating that she went in premature labor. And so, this wasn't it. He got a text that she was in labor. They went to the last ultrasound. I'm sorry, I mixed up the story. So they went to the last ultrasound right before they were about to have the baby, and he remembers it clearly like it was yesterday. It was Friday, and they did the ultrasound, and all of a sudden this coldness comes over him, and he didn't know what it was about. And he just felt this eerie feeling, and he asked the doctor, he said, "What's wrong?" "There's something wrong." And the doctor goes, "Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your baby's not alive, not going to make it. Your baby's dead." And at this moment, he felt like he was serving his purpose in life, and something just happened. And it's like, why? There was no reasoning. He didn't get it. And so he had to live over the weekend with knowing that his baby had passed away. And I'm not trying to be morbid or anything. There's a point to the story. And so then he realized, oh, it's okay. I'm only here temporarily on this earth. So I'm going to go ahead and live an eternity with her. So I'm going to keep serving my purpose here. I'm going to keep doing what I'm destined to do. And I'm going to make her proud and be up there with her down the road. So as time went on, his wife got pregnant again. And it was going to be another little girl. And so that's the time when he was on a flight, and he got a notice that she went in premature labor. So everything was supposed to be fine. Baby was supposed to be healthy, and he got to hospital. Everything was great. Of course, because baby was a little premature, they had to stay a little longer. And as they were leaving, the nurse comes running after him. Wait. And he's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, we forgot to do the ultrasound. And so we have to do it. It should take only 10 minutes. All premature babies need to have it." And so he's like, "Okay, great." So they went to go do that. And then again, he gets that cold, eerie feeling. And what happened is they told him that his baby had a hole in between his heart, and the heart wasn't connected, and there's a likelihood if they don't get her to surgery right now that she would not make it, and that she also had Down syndrome. So at that moment, he just lost it. He's like, "I'm doing what I'm destined to do, and why does life throw these challenges at me? What is going on? Where am I going? What am I supposed to be doing? I feel like I'm living my right life, but something always comes up. But that's life." So at that moment, he just said, I give up. Whatever it is that you're trying to tell me, God, whatever it is that you believe in, you can say that, use that metaphor for what you believe in, but, just tell me why. What is your will for me? Well, it turned out the baby was okay. She didn't have Down syndrome. Yes, she had a couple heart surgeries, but she was like 1 in 2 million that would ever have the procedure and not turn out to be Down syndrome. He said he would love her regardless, but he just felt like, he had a greater plan, but life always threw something at him. And my point of this, telling you this long story, is you have to figure out what your destiny is. And no matter what life throws at you, don't ever give into it, because we all are going to hit challenges, but we have to figure out what it is and start serving it. And if you want to keep living a mediocre life and walk like a turkey, then, you're never going to have the purpose-driven life, that life that you created, that you designed, that you are making your family proud of, that you're making your kids proud of. And so it's really important to take a look at where you're at in your life and figure out what it is that you want, and make and design the life that you want to live. And it's all possible. We all have the calling, we all have something to offer this world, and we all have something to offer other people. And if we are not giving that out to the world, what's the purpose? We need to leave a legacy. We need to be better than just surviving and just living day by day, just going to work and, just like I said, what do you feel your destiny is? What kind of life do you want to create? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to, be able to take your kids on the dream vacation? Do you want to be able to travel around the world? Do you want that house? I don't know. What is it that you want that will make you feel like you're living purpose and you're living the destiny that you're designed to live? And so I hope you guys found value in that, and please feel free to share and comment and share with me what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it, and it was great popping on, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk soon. Bye.